You're listening to Factual America. Nicole and Jeremy were talking about, Matt was talking about how a different approach to Baywatch, certainly than what's been taken previously from a factual or documentary standpoint. But you both must have some stories that you could tell. What are some, maybe each one of you, is there a story that I don't want to spoil things for people, but maybe something that we're gonna find out that we did not know beforehand when we when this documentary comes out. Nicole, do you have anything you'd like to say on that point?
I mean, I think more than like a specific story, because I don't want to give anything away. I think that people kind of giggle at first when you say it's kind of an intellectual look at Baywatch, because I think when you say Baywatch documentary, people think fluff and TNA and Flash. Yeah. And like one of the reasons I wanted to do this with Matt, I wouldn't have done this with just anybody, is because, I really like his sense of humor and his style, his aesthetic and everything. So I knew that he was somebody I would see eye to eye with on all of that. And so it's just really, people are really going to be surprised at the arc of the characters. People were huge stars while they were on the show, and then they had ups and downs in life, and everybody is just a success story, at this point in their life. So I think it's just really going to surprise people on how much depth there is to everybody, instead of just being, a beautiful face and body, and really the approach we have on it. And like Matt said, what was going on in the world, earthquakes and riots, and, Baywatch was the escape. And that's why it was the number one show in the world. And I think now with this quarantine, it can once again be everybody's escape for, what's going on in the real world. So I think it's really kind of come full circle. And for the project, this quarantine, I think, is kind of a blessing in a weird way for the project, because it will give everybody that same sense that they got in the 90s when they, wanted to escape all of reality and watch this fantasy show. So they'll get to relive that, and it's a warm, happy, feel good documentary. So I think it's not going to be what people are expecting.
It sounds awesome. Jeremy, what do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. It's a fun time because we walked in our shoes. Nicole was there. We get to tell the story, like she said, intellectual story, the story that most, news articles, the most interviews don't want to talk about, right? It's Baywatch was very much in a box of just beauty and or the same old questions all the time. It's just manufactured. It's they got a preconceived interview that they want to land, and they're not going to let us tell anything but that. So being on the other end of the story, knowing, the authenticity that took place, the hurts, the good relationships, the special moments, and or, being put in that box, and what is that like, and how did that affect us, will be really cool. Okay. I have, a pretty interesting story specifically that Matt, are we going to talk about that film festival in the documentary?
I think we might not talk about the film festival. We should talk about it now. It's great.
Yeah. So here's a funny story that, honestly, being on Baywatch, these types of things actually happen all the time. And it just so happened to happen to our whole cast and crew during the filming of the documentary. So, when you're on the number one TV show in the world, and whether it's hot and it's in the middle of its, heyday, or post heyday, you seem to get these type of weirdos and weird things that just feel like only happen to you. So I get hit up on Instagram from a page that has a bunch of other celebrities and a bunch of great digital assets, and they're doing a film festival, and it's in Miami at a prestigious hotel, and the flights are paid for, the accommodations are paid for, and it's just a real easy gig, and there'll be all these perks and fun stuff going on, and bring a friend to fly first class, yada-dee. We have this person and that person, and it looks like it all checks out. You go to their page, you go to their website, they got people from other series and movies, and they're giving an award away to this big director, and sure, I guess we still do got it. You know, I guess people still do want to hear from us, and people are buying tickets, and the whole thing is blowing up, and it looks great. And I'm putting this guy that's, you know, contacted me in touch with somebody else from the show, and somebody else from the show is getting in touch with somebody else. And before you know it, we got everybody pumped up, excited to go spend time together in Miami. And, you know, we can't wait to kick it and have a good time. And this will be great for the documentary. Why don't we bring the documentary in? And a couple days before the event, nobody has flights yet. And we're all calling each other, emailing each other. Hey, do you have flights? Did you talk to that guy? I don't know. Something seems weird, right? Did you get a contract? Yeah, I got a contract. No, I didn't get a contract. Okay. So I even called the hotel. Do you have this event booked at the hotel? Yes, we sure do. Oh, okay. I guess it is going on. There's a miscommunication, so to speak, supposedly with the travel agency. It's out of the country, and they changed travel agencies, and now it's a big, you know, mess, but we're going to clean it up. And you know, I'm on my way to the airport, the only person out of the cast with a ticket. And I call the guy. I'm like, look, man, hustler to hustler, you know, game recognized game. Look, if you just like are screwing everybody over, but you know, mum's the word. I'm not going to blow your cover, but don't send me to the airport and have me come out of pocket in an Uber and like waste a bunch of my time. Like the jig is up. If you know, no big deal. Just don't take from me. Like I understand you wanted to make some money off a bunch of fans that are willing to pay for tickets, and you pulled off some big hoax, but don't take money out of my pocket that's not even going in your pocket. That makes no sense. Should I go to the airport, or should I just turn? You know, why don't you just turn around and go home, and we'll work this out later. I'm like, wow, this guy just conned our whole cast into getting all pumped up to go to Miami.
The Baywatch Fire Fest. The Fire
Exactly.
Fest. We had a Baywatch Fire Fest. Yeah.
I did not get suckered into this. I did not. When Jeremy contacted me about this festival,
Nicole hated that guy. She's like, "Fuck that guy."
See, women have a radar for these things.
Well, and I grew up on the streets.
On everything.
I grew up. I was 5 years old. I've been dealing with these kind of like, you know, jokers.
Yeah.
When I showed up on set and he was there, I was like, "Get him out of here! Who is that? Like, who's that guy?"
He infiltrated our whole production.
Yeah, he tried to just make himself at home on the production. I was like, no, nobody knows him. And yeah, it's just, it all smelled fishy to me from the beginning. And thank God, I was like, nah, you know, yeah, there's crazy crooks out there.
And there's Jeremy with his pants around his ankles, bending over.
I'm ready.